Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Meet the. I'm Troy Rawlings, your host, and today I'm talking to the nationally certified personal fitness, health, wellness coach, but also overall health and wellness. And health and has a lot more to do with, like they say, health is wealth. Oh, I think wealth and health go hand in hand. and for the area, we've known that for seeing people who may be impoverished, things like that. But we're going to delve in. You know, if you know anything about me and you've been reading my articles, Sheen or anything like that, you know I'm big on legacy and learning about legacy tools. And today we have a special young lady who has some great legacy tools and some things that you may not have known that you might have had a little bit, you might have had some into, but she's going to break it all open today, break it down for you. The one and only. Now, wait a second. Are we going to buy Stefani Whiteside-Antoine now?
Yeah, go put the full name. Put the full name on it.
Stefani Whiteside-Antoine. Give it up.
Yeah.
What's going on, Steph?
I'm good. Thank you. Yes, I like that introduction. Appreciate it.
It is, you know, people may see, and if you're in the Los Angeles area, you may have seen Stephanie around at different events, especially if you come to any of the events we do here with entertainment or jazzism or stuff like that. But just not knowing, a lot of times we see people and they're right in our midst and we don't know what they do. Right. And but let me go, I Tarantino a little bit. So let me go all the way back. Okay. Tell the people where you're from.
Where am I from? Oh, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Born and raised.
Yeah,
Detroit.
So how long have you been here in Cali?
I have actually been here in Los Angeles since 2007, but I didn't come straight from Detroit. I had some stops along the way, so I lived a few places. I was actually in New York right before I came here.
So I ask people all the time, especially if they've been to the East Coast, which do you like better? Do you like the West Coast or the East Coast? Was it New York or LA? You gave me that look like.
Well, and I had some stops in between too. I was in the South. I was in. I've lived in Florida. I've lived in Atlanta.
What was your favorite place?
Well, I've been here the longest from Detroit.
Right.
Detroit's always gonna be number one. No matter, I don't really care how long I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's Detroit, whatever. That wins, hands down. But I have to say LA would be the next best place for me because I like it here. I love the weather. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you one thing. My family in Detroit, yeah, they cold right now. They cold. It's a lot of places. In New York, they probably cold too.
I'm from Baltimore.
I don't want to be cold.
I see some people shoveling out. I was like, yeah, I forgot about that. My friend was like, you know, let the young guys shovel because we talk about fitness.
Yeah.
It's a different thing but you do personal training. Do you do cyber training like people online if they're in different states?
Yep.
So
I do that, or I go to people. I train them at the gym. Different.
Do you tell the guys to make sure they stretch and everything before they in the snowy areas because many injuries happen. And some dude thinking he got a good, that's a good amount of snow.
You got to warm up. You know, so a lot of people probably put their back out when they're trying to shovel that snow. Don't play.
Back out, slip, and
yep.
It's a thing. The hospitals, when the snow come in the East Coast, the hospitals like.
Here it goes. We got some
people. It's like Christmas time for them. All right, so you've been here since a year before me, so you've been here about 17 years now.
Oh wow! Ooh, I didn't think about it in the whole
17 years.
Wow.
In Los Angeles. It goes quick in Los Angeles because we don't really.
It goes so quick.
And we were talking, and I like that you mentioned this. We were talking about the fitness. Of course, your husband Gerald is into fitness. You helped him. He definitely talked about in an interview how you helped him get serious. Even though they talk like the Mertzes, Fred and Ethel. But he said it in an interview on tape that you helped him.
Thank you.
Get serious. So
give my props. You're
gonna see this lady. He's like, man. So what you were already doing the fitness side, 25 years?
Yeah.
So
it's not over.
Yeah. So what made you get into the financial side?
You know, what made me get into the financial side is, I was a business major, so I've always been business minded into doing things like that. And money has always been one of my things I've been into. I actually wanted, when I was younger, thought about being like an accountant or something like that. It was always my thing. So, but I do so much other things that I just didn't, you graduate. I was a business major in college, come out, you do other things, but you still do, what you love in the background a little bit.
Right.
I got into, because I'm a licensed financial retirement planner. I got into that as a client first, actually. That's how I got in. I was a client because I'm here and I was looking into just doing a little bit more for myself when it came to retirement. I started thinking, hey, you know what? Because what do I do? Majority of my what I do is entrepreneurial. So I don't have as many of the 401ks and things like that people are offered. I don't get to offer those things in that type of job. I was working with LAUSD though. Not a total full time. So I did have a little bit of a pension. I was able to use the 403b. They're all under the same umbrella, tax the same. So the same way the 401k works is the way the 403b works, but in that respect.
Okay, so you're seeing that you don't have a lot of options being an entrepreneur. Get a part-time job and you're putting some money in, stuff like that. And you're introduced to, is it 300 first to introduce you to these things?
What happened was Gerald was in need of something, and he had a friend and his wife, who happens to be the CEO of 300 Financial Group, who are friends of ours, came and helped us and kind of showed us that, hey, you have that because I was about to look into the 403b. That's exactly what I was about to do. I had a meeting set up with them and said, hey, let me find out what I need to do to get this started. I got my pension. I had other stuff from old 401ks back in the day. So I had other investments and things like that already kind of set up, but I knew I needed to do more and I wanted to do something like right now from where I was. So she said, why don't you see what I have to offer first? Because there's other options out there that you might not have known about. I'm like, okay, cool. I kind of sat in on that meeting with Gerald. I actually didn't go thinking it was going to do anything for me. I'm like most people. I was like, whatever, let me just go sit and see what she's talking about. Right. But I'm so glad I did, because she opened my eyes to something that I had never heard about, options that I had never seen. And I was like, wait, what is this? We can do this. I can do this on my own. I have my option of really growing and building wealth through this retirement product on my own without having to go through my company. I don't have to go with the 403b. And I still could have chose the option to do the 403b as well. It's not like I could choose one or the other. But with this particular situation, I saw it and I was like, I'm good. I'm going to do this instead, because this is going to be my account. This is something that I can manage and I'm going to always have. It doesn't matter when I leave, go on to do anything else. It doesn't matter. This is mine, right? I don't have to go through a company or through a job to operate it. So, and it was a product that offered so much more. So not only did it offer that growth and money building that when I retired, I was going to be able to make, now I also had protection from death benefit, living benefits, something I can use should I get sick, maximize growth. A lot of 401ks, 403bs and things like that, and all your other retirement products, a lot of them might be in the market, right? A lot of them are in the market. This was tied to the market, but not in it. And it was like, well, you guarantee you're not going to lose any money. Hey, there you go. Tell me more, right? Wait. That's all you got to say to me.
You ain't gonna fly past that. You guaranteed you're not gonna lose money? How's that possible?
Not gonna lose money, and I can actually say that without fear of losing my licenses.
How is that possible? What vehicles do you have? And you don't have to give. I mean, they can always get in touch with you offline.
Yeah. Because
but how is that possible? You can invest and not lose money.
Yeah. Well, our products, we use a strategy. It's called index credit, and a lot of people don't know about it. And that's what I'm out there doing. Index credit. I'm out there spreading around, making sure people know about this, and that there are policies out there that you can guarantee. I can guarantee you don't lose money. And that's the strategy we use and what I do. You will not lose any money. It doesn't matter if the market tanks. I talk to people who have their money in their 401ks or whatsoever. We have a big market crash. They're losing money in that 401k, right? If you come out and you retire during a good year, you might be like, hey, I'm good. But what if you are planning on retiring, which I talked to a friend of mine, she had 2 family members about to retire right around the housing market crash in 2007, 2008. Devastating. Both those people, her family members that were about to retire, lost half their retirement accounts right before retirement. Had it been a year earlier, they would have came out like, 401k, best thing ever, right? Because they didn't get caught up in that. But that's the thing, markets, we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
We can't predict them. We don't know when we're going to have that big old crash again or something like that is going to happen. So
Now,
I put people
is
in
there a
products that are
cap?
safe.
Is there a cap on how much investment money you can insure?
So the index credited products do have caps and they have floors, but you got to keep in mind the caps are different and they go right with what happens in the market a lot of times, because the way we do a lot of ours is it's not just a cap. We do a participation rate, right? So I have I'll talk about one particular product. We give you the growth on that product is 250% of what the index does, because our products are tied to the market. They're not in the market. So the reaction is totally different. So it does see the ups and downs of, it sees when the market goes up, it sees when the market crashes or whatsoever, but it reacts differently. When it crashes, you don't lose any money. You just kind of hold tight, hold steady where your money is. But when it grows, it depends on what product you're with, what contract or whatever, how you set it up. This particular one grows at 250%. So let's just say, this is what the example we use in the presentation I give. Let's say the market did well that year. It did 10.96%, right? That year.
So well, it's considered anything above 10% or at 10%.
No, I'm just saying that's what the market is. That's what the index did that year. So people that had money in the market or whatever, they made about 10.96% on their accounts that year, is what I'm saying, right? Let's just say that happened. And my product will look at that and see that and they'll go, oh, cool, 10.96%. But the money that I'm having grow for your retirement is actually going to grow at 250% of that. So your money that year is not just going to grow 10.96%. Your money is going to grow 27%. So your money from the year before is now going to grow 27% in that account of the money that's growing for your retirement, for that income. Because that's what I offer. I offer lifetime income. My products do that too. Let me make sure I point that out. Lifetime income. So you don't have to have a job with a pension to have lifetime income. You can have it with the products I work with.
All right. Now I know Stephanie is giving you a lot of information, but that's why this is recorded. But we're gonna have my information below. All right. Let me go back a little bit. You mentioned something to me. We were talking, and you mentioned that may be the vehicle, the product you're talking about now. That you said index credit. Was that you didn't say ICU. What did you say?
That is we were talking about the IUL, Index Universal Life. Mm-hmm.
So give me that, because the IUL, because a lot of times people are dealing with insurance and investment people, and you hear whole life is a good move because you have the options of pulling money certain times, blah, blah, blah. So what is an IUL?
It is a type of insurance policy. It is an Index Universal Life policy. Okay. What it does is it offers a lot more than just insurance, though. You have a lot more legs that come along with it. Because it is insurance, obviously you get a death benefit with it, right? But one of the things I love about it is it also offers living benefits. And just real quick plug, January is actually Living Benefits Awareness Month. So yeah, I mean, it has
right now.
Right now, January, we are in Living Benefits Awareness Month. So if you don't know what living benefits are, and especially if you don't know if your policy has it, you need to call me, right? Because living benefits, within a life insurance company, what it does is it gives you the option to use those benefits while you're still alive, right? Which some whole life policies do. So let me make sure I'm not taking that away from them. But this is a lot more. So it's one thing to have a whole life policy when you just have your regular whole life policies. But when you have this, you have what you have in that whole life policy plus the ability of having income until you pass away, pretty much, right? Of it growing a lot higher. You're getting, it's building for retirement, because that's the other thing. It has a retirement vehicle and retirement investment. So you have your death benefit, your living benefits, your money that you're saving for retirement to receive an income, yearly income, and broken down to a monthly payment to add on to your payments that you're going to be receiving in retirement. And while you're still receiving that money, guess what? You still have a death benefit, right? So you still have all of that. You still have help with the living benefits. You still have all of that. And also the money that's growing in there, guess what? Market goes down, you don't lose a penny of it. You don't lose a penny of it.
Now for the folks that are like myself, over 40, I get into a vehicle like this. I dump a lump sum into it, but retirement is closer if I think, okay, I'll be 50 in 2 years. So for me, if I'm thinking 65 to pull, is there a benefit in pulling before 20 years, or is a maturation process where it has to go about 20? What's the maturation process on the investment?
Well, my products are designed they're not a quick. If someone comes to me and, oh, I want to just put something, invest real quick and take it out, then, I'm not your person.
Well, the 15
right?
to 20, in that 15 to 20 years, man.
Right. So if you have that time, of course, the more time you have, the better. But also it has to do with the amount of money you put in it, because this is not a cookie cutter situation. Finance is personal. What I do is I do a plan with people. I have to sit down and do an analysis with you and talk, and we figure out what you can put in it, what you need in retirement. So if you tell me, okay, I'm gonna need to get this amount of money in retirement, then we figure out what you need to pay into this policy to get you that. Or you might tell me, this is all I got to pay. And I'll say, okay, well, this is what you're gonna get with that amount of money, right? At whatever age you decide. That particular policy that I'm speaking about is not technically one of those. It's not a, we use it for retirement, but it is not a retirement product, as in other retirement products, you have to get them out at 59 and a half, you pay a penalty. You're aware of that. 401ks, IRAs,
right.
59 and a half, you pay that penalty, okay? This particular product, you can retire at 50. So if I start working with somebody who's in 25 and they're like, I'm retiring at 50, which is very likely that they could do if they starting early to really grind, then guess what? They can start pulling an income at that age, right?
Right.
So starting a little later, you might have to wait a little longer. Or if you are putting a lot more in per month, you might not have to. I have to run the numbers. We have to do the analysis. We have to figure it out.
But there's no penalty for pulling it out at a certain time. You just get what you get.
With the IUL, so I work with different products. So I want to make clear that with the IUL, you can pull it out early. You can pull it out before 15 and a half. You can actually borrow from this account up to 90% of what's in it after 1 year. So you can use this money. You can have it in there. And if you need to borrow from it, use it. Borrow money from it, put it back. It affects a lot of different things. So it might affect your death benefit if you decide you want to pull half your money out. You got to think about that. So, but there's people that use these policies. Troy, these policies aren't new. They've been around for 25 years. You know who's been taking advantage of them? Wealthy people. Wealthy people, right? So they got a lot of money in these policies, because guess what? It's insurance. It can't be touched. Guess what? If these ones you see on the news is going through some little problems and with some financial, guess what money is safe and they ain't even telling nobody about?
Insurance.
The money in these policies, right? So that person that has all that money in that policy, they can go borrow something from it, put it back. They can do that as much as they want. Now, if you just starting off the policy and you only paying a couple $100 a month, and you might not have as much to pull in a few years. You know what I'm saying? You might want to be careful about what you're pulling, because you're affecting your death benefit. But
for those, good question. For those that they have a lump sum of money to put in, okay, I'm going to put in. I'm 50 and I'm looking at about 70 to pull it out. I'll put in. I have 25,000 to put in. And is there a limit that they can put in up front before they set up their monthly?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. So I'm going to say, I might not be able to do that. We'd have to see what we get, how we would do it. And I might have another vehicle for you to put in.
You might not be able to put it all in one situation.
All at once. Right. Oh, yeah. We can get it to that height. Right. You know what I'm saying? We can figure it out. I just have to call and we have to figure it out. Right. Okay. So this is what he kind of wants to do. How do we break this down for it? We have a way that you can do a lump sum to start. Right. If somebody wants to do that, I've done it before. They're like, you know what? I don't want to pay monthly. Right. A lot of people, they don't always like to pay monthly. Right. So there's a way to start it off with a lump sum. And what we'll do is say, okay, well, how much is it for this year? So you put that amount for that year, however many years you want to have it. And then the company, it takes the payments from that little account. So it's like an account attached to it. And so every month it comes out, because it's a monthly payment bill, like usually insurance is. If you pay it ahead of time, it's a little setup where the company just kind of takes from it each month. It's like, okay, well, it takes what it needs this month, takes what it needs this month, once you put that amount in. But you just, we'll figure that out, how the best way to set that up. But you can do those chunks. And also we encourage people to max fund their accounts, right? So for instance, you can have an amount of money that you put into this account over the year. At the end of the year, we encourage people to call up the company. Hey, what's the most I can put into this account? Because you don't want to have it to go over and turn into an investment where it's going to be taxed. Because let me make sure I mention this if I didn't before. The money you pull out of this account is tax free. So that's another thing. When you so if you have a certain dollar amount in this account, when you get ready to pull the money, there are no taxes being taken out. You're getting exactly what it says, right? So we don't want it to turn into an account like that. So therefore, and that's a longer conversation. I'm not gonna get into it today. That'll be when you call me up and be like, I need you more explanation, Stephanie, because that's extra right now. Long story short, we want to make sure we keep it where you're gonna get that money tax free. So therefore, you just call the company up. Hey, how much can I put in? And then you go ahead and put as much as possible. You want to max fund it as much as possible. So we encourage people to do that. But everything we have to kind of talk to them and find out. I can't give you a cookie cutter answer.
No doubt. Right. Now back to the personal thing. We'll jump around a little bit. Now what has this done for you, being with the company and using the products, obviously, but what has it done for you? Mentally and emotionally, knowing that you have this now, how has it, how has it helped you? Because that's the part sometimes we don't talk about.
Yeah.
The security of having, it may sound weird, but when we get older, because no one can tell how old Stephanie is, but when we get older, when you get to be my age, girl, and you hear about folks rolling out, and we're living different. I look at where my parents were health-wise when they were 49. Mm-hmm. I'll be 49 next month. So I look where they were health-wise. I look at the fact that my father, by the time he was 65, he was gone. And the issues we had, even though him and his then wife had a policy and they took from it, it could hardly bury him. But had somebody sat down and said, hey, this, especially when they have those, our folks, they get a tax return. It's like, I'm getting some.
I'll talk about that.
And you got, I got 8.
Not a good look.
Yeah. You got 8,000. So do you go and spend it, car, furniture, redoing, or do you act like it never happened? And, so how does it make you feel having the securities that you have now? Because it's funny, they're called security. Sometimes they're called securities. So how does it make you feel having the securities, that blanket of what you're using now versus just what you had before?
Oh, no, it definitely makes me feel better, because the thing is, I got this when I was still single. And what I get from people a lot is, I don't need that. I'm single. I have no kids. I was single and had no kids, but that's not what this one is totally for. Yeah, you happen to you get that death benefit, but look at all the other stuff I just said.
Living and pulling out.
And think about it. What if I were to get sick, right? This is living benefits out of this. You can pull money from this type of account to use for yourself. Okay, let's keep that real. So if my death benefit is $500,000, that means I could go to them and say, you know what, I was diagnosed with this. Well, how can you help me? And they could give you, depending on where it is, you might get close to $500,000.
Right.
Or depending on what it is that you're going to be approved to get. But bottom line is this. It makes me feel great because I don't have to worry about, should I get sick? If I got to take off work, okay. I have the money and the help that I'll be able to get something to help me with these things. I don't have to stress about if I had a family, now I am married, I can still bring something to the table here and take some time to sit back and get myself well without stressing out. I've been doing this for a while, so I have lots of stories, and that's what this is. One of the things I got to get out there is these stories about people, because I'm seeing these things happen, right? We had a client not too far after getting one of these policies diagnosed with cancer. You know how good it feels to be able to go get her a check of $300,000 and hand it to her, so now she ain't got to worry about having to take time off for work. Her kids don't have to. This is a big one because I get this from a lot of people. I don't want to have to do a GoFundMe if something happens to one of my loved ones. What do we see these days? GoFundMe. I have a lot of people, that's what they come to me. I don't want to have to do a GoFundMe. I don't want my family to do a GoFundMe.
And here's the thing, right? we spend $300 a month on coffee.
Oh, thank you. That is, oh my gosh, I had that conversation. Oh, I can't afford. Yeah, you can. You can.
I know people that work corporate business. I know teachers. Start their day. If they did their morning breakfast, lunch, and dinner, spending, well, let's break it down, y'all. If you spend $50 to $70 a day on food, that's $2,100 a month. And you're saying you don't have $300? You don't have $400? You don't have $500? that God forbid if something happens. And now we're like, we say, oh, we middle age. If we live to 100, but if we live to 70.
Right, you might be good at 70, but
like you said, we don't know what tomorrow holds. And I think that's a big thing, be it faith-filled or whatever. We don't know what tomorrow holds. And I've seen these past 4 years alone, seeing people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, just gone. And they got kids.
Yeah. Yep.
And
how many classmates I'm losing? How many classmates Gerald's been losing? Crazy.
And the personal piece for me is that, rest in peace, Eric DeWitt. I've seen what happens when people have their stuff in order. Rest in peace, Eric DeWitt. He had his stuff in order. My best friend, Rodney Harrison, his wife died at 46, unexpectedly, went in the hospital, didn't leave. They had policies and they had their stuff in order. I see how it changes people's lives right then who are living, the spouses, 2 spouses I know. But if I told the story of the other 49 people that have died over the 15 years I've been here, most of and I'm from Baltimore, no murder, nothing, no horrendous car accident, basic health and life issues. One person died in a motorcycle accident. But I think about all of those people. I don't know how many people really had their stuff in order. And to think that we have more knowledge than we ever did before. Some people had it with their job and it was like, oh, I got life insurance with my job. But they don't read all the fine print. And then all of a sudden they take out, it's like, what happened to the rest of the money? Oh, we take out because when you're filling out your job stuff, people, one of those forms are life insurance. So they get paid when you die too.
Yeah.
Not just the one for them. Oh yeah, this is life insurance for your family. And this is another life insurance policy. You're like, okay. It's like, oh, 250. Okay, that's good. My family gonna get 500. You didn't read that the other 250 was for the company.
Oh, and what you didn't read also is that most of that big chunk, I had somebody, I got $400,000 through my company. We looked at their stuff. It's for accident, AD&D, accident, death, and dismemberment. Which means, guess what? If you die of cancer or sickness, you get none of that. You got to be in that car crash to get that money. Oh, it's so many little pieces of red tape and everything. And the other thing is, I have people coming to me now. Unfortunately, they waited too late. They're like, oh, I had this gut job. I always had life insurance through this job, right? And then unfortunately, guess what happens? Layoffs. Things happen. So now, guess what?
They cut your benefit. They don't fund.
They don't have your life insurance
anymore. You're not, and they cut your life insurance and your health.
It's gone. You don't work there no more.
And that's literally what the ladies say when you call. Hey, I was just finding out about how long does my health. What time did they fire you? Last week. You don't work here no more. And that's literally what the lady says on the phone. You don't work anymore.
No, you don't work anymore. And that's really what it is. And then they call me, and unfortunately, especially if they're older and they call me, now they're like, oh, back in the day, I've been able to get $500,000 for X amount of money. Well, now you're over 50. So I can get you something.
Like, do you have?
That's not true. We're gonna get you something. We're gonna get you gamble.
For the next 10 years.
But you might not be able to get that big old chunk you was thinking that you was able to get back in the day that you didn't get because you thought you was good because you had this job that had some life insurance for you, right? So we got to think about that. How about when we retire from it? You retire from the job. You really think the job is gonna be like, but we're gonna still keep getting you some life insurance. Yeah, we got you. No.
COVID. How many COVID stories that no one hears about? We know in LA because we've seen the homeless population go through the roof. Thank God for those of us that have been able to, however, survive. But COVID did the same thing, y'all, as getting fired. When people got laid off, they had a little bit. Some people had some cushion. The state helped, and then
right.
And if you're a landlord, I didn't even have a conversation with Gerald about what happened with the thing because he's a landlord. All of a sudden, for almost 2 years, people have an option to pay. What does that do to the landlord, the owner?
A lot in real estate, and that's what people tell me all the time. They're like, because when I talk to them, and I'm here to help you diversify. My products can, you might not want to do everything with me. Guess what? But if you have some diversification. So I have people. Oh, I have real estate. I do real estate. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to do anything like that. I do real estate. Okay, you know how many, okay, we got a housing market crash. Let's go back to that first of all. Then we have the people that COVID, like you just said. Hello. We still had mortgages to pay, but we still had people talking about something, hey, it's COVID. We don't have to pay for I don't know how long. Right. It's
the
like,
8 months,
we still
or they send it 12 months. I was renting his experience, and I love my brother. He's a friend of mine. I was renting from a friend in Bixby Knolls. Of course, I didn't know. I was just looking for. I had a nice little place and a guest house and everything, and he was staying somewhere else, taking care of some property stuff. Beautiful spot, historic Bixby Knolls, Long Beach. I didn't plan on staying there long.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. But I just wanted to stay there until I found something like this in Burbank. But it was cool. It was rent wasn't too high. Perfect. We move in. Zoe's at school, and they're like, "Oh, you're driving a long way from Burbank." I said, "Yeah, but it's just until I find something. This is comfortable for me. Plus, I'm helping my friend because he has workers coming in." I had the stuff, took care of it. By March 11th, I'm kind of in there, and I'm like, "Whew." Pick up Zoe from school. Zoe, you know what? You got to play later on this week, but let's just chill tomorrow and this, that, and other. And I'm watching the news the night of March 11th, and I'm like, man, they're canceling school basketball games and football. Zoe, I don't think you should go back to school now. By the next day, the world shut down. By the 13th, the world shut down.
Yep.
I didn't know. I happened to be in a safe haven, and I happened to be able to pay because I had a couple great companies, and some of you guys know that I was working with, so it was a blessing. But the world shut down. The world.
Yeah.
It was taking me 28 minutes to get from Long Beach to Burbank. It was wonderful to get, but
oh yeah, going downtown was great.
Oh, down, amazing.
No traffic.
But
besides,
the valley, sure. All the traffic was wonderful.
No, yes, it was wonderful.
But I think about that, and for the people that were working somewhere in corporate, no one knows, and they try to juggle as much as they could, but at least by the 6th month, everybody's like in panic. By the 9th and 12th month, but a simple shift of something that we know now. No one was telling us this. My parents didn't know this stuff. My parents had they knew more about Amway and than they did about insurance. They knew a way to make money, but didn't know that most of these people had companies and reliable, I think about that. The people who would make, my father worked at a factory. Yeah, he didn't want to be there. But he was making like $700-800 a week in the 80s. If somebody came and said, hey.
Yeah, he had some good stuff to put aside. I want to hit on a couple things you've already brought up a little bit. Huh?
Them lottery tickets ate them up. Spend $100 a week on lottery tickets. Dad's gone. I love you, Dad.
I'm glad you just said it. I'm gonna touch on that because you said something about you don't have $300-400 for somebody to do it. Think about it. I put people in stuff for $100. I put people in stuff for less. People realize you might not need as much as you think, and that's the issue I get from a lot of people too. Is I don't have enough. I can't afford it. You can't afford what? We ain't even went over anything yet. I you know what I'm saying? We even discussed and figured out what you can do. What can you afford?
I'll be honest with you, Steph. That's me and my friend was just talking about that. But that is entrepreneurial 101. Yeah. You experience that with a person say, I want to go training, but I can't afford you. Girl, you just told me you want to start training. I ain't saying nothing yet.
We ain't even talked yet.
I know. I'm looking at your body. What?
It's an excuse. It's a fear too. It's a fear. And I want to be head on this before we go back to that. You said, because we were just talking about COVID. Not knowing what that was going to happen. Not knowing COVID was going to happen. I told you I was a client before I started working in this field. So during COVID, I had accounts. I had an index credit account like I'm talking to people about now, but I also still have money in the market, right? I have my money in my BOA, Merrill Lynch accounts, whatever, blah, 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 right? So let me tell you what an eye-opener it was, because, we hear, I can tell you what this is going to do for you, how it's going to do it for you, but until it happens to you, you don't really understand it. It's just how we are, right? It's like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it till I see it, right? Well, I got to see it. I had both kind of accounts. COVID hit. I went to my accounts, my ones I have in the market. What happens to the market when something like that happens? It's going to go down, right? One of my accounts cut in half, 50%. Another one cut in 40%. I tell people this in my presentations because it's true. It's actually a true story. 2 of my accounts going down, cut in half. I went and looked at my accounts I had in the index credit accounts, like I'm telling people about. I ain't lose a penny. Now, did I get any money? No, because ain't nobody make no money.
But you ain't lose.
Nobody was making no money. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, I didn't lose a penny. Didn't lose a penny. And I was like, and if I already got it, obviously. I was already a client, I was already doing it. But when you see it for yourself with your own money, you're like, got it. Now I really got to make sure I get out here and tell people. I've been in the business now some years, so I have stories and things like that. And people know what I do, but I'm not out there as much as I'm about to be out there because, wow, we as a people, we're fearful and distrustful, a lot of us, right? But we are really letting our distrust do us a huge disservice, not paying attention and really understanding what you could have and what you could possibly add on to what you're doing for your future right now. We're too scared, right? And I'm not making this up. I'm getting this because I talk to people. Oh, I ask, like, so what is it? So what is it? What's holding you back from understanding? If I'm letting you know I have a tool and I go around and that's what I do, I educate people on what this is and how it works and how it could possibly help you. And I do this for free. I do complimentary analysis. So I show you first, and then you decide if it works for you.
And look,
right?
Y'all are looking at the Cat Williams joint. You 50 million of y'all. Y'all looking at Cat Williams and believe it.
I don't even know. They tell me.
I know some of the people. Cat Williams like, yes, and he was with Troy Rawlings. I was like, he was? but something like this with someone who went through it, especially having a testimonial coming out of COVID and seeing two situations. But the fact that, for one, I'm so happy that nothing's by coincidence. I believe things coincide, but not coincidence. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it was Living Benefits Awareness Month. But who wants you to know that? I haven't seen their commercial. I haven't seen an advertisement on IG. Hey, I got people that I know that actually sell insurance, sell annuities, do all this stuff. I didn't know this. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. I had nobody calling me and say, hey, what's going on with your living benefits? Nothing. Yeah. So just the information you're giving, and what's so dope about this, and of course we'll have the number down below, and how to contact Steph, and like she said, she'll do a free analysis. You can lay back, but to have something that doesn't lose money, that you don't have to, like I said, I think you dump half your coffee money into it, you'd be good monthly. But yeah.
Exactly.
Especially if you're 50 and over.
Exactly. You know what? And I'm glad you just brought that up too. A lot of times, what I help do, I do plans for people. So I just don't sell insurance, annuities, things like that. Of course, it's part of what I can offer. But I do plans. I do analysis. You need a plan, right? You got a plan for the future. I help you figure out what you can do and what you need when it comes to saving and how much you need to save. You sometimes don't need as much as you think. I've had people come up to me, just gung-ho, Stephanie, I want to save $500. And they're shocked a month, right? And they're shocked when I do the analysis with them. And I'm like, you might need to start lower. Because guess what? As people would think to me, they're like, oh, she gonna get that money. Somebody want to get that $500 insurance policy. That's giving her a little extra, right? I can make a decent amount of money on a policy that amount, or $1,000 that I've had people come up to me and be excited about getting. And I'm the one that has to turn around after that analysis and kind of say, you probably shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Because if anything hits you, you're gonna be in trouble.
Right. Because that's my job, is to make sure I do right by you. I need to put you in a better position. I need to get you what I need to get you. But I also need to make sure you're not about to go broke doing it. Right? I am a financial retirement planner. I help you with that. That's what I do. I got to make sure you're good. We do right by our clients, right? But it's surprising to them when I have to say that. But, I want to make sure you're in a good position, but I also need to make sure you have those protections. So we might be able to we might be the plan for you to get there to that amount that you want to save, because they want to save. That I love it, because they want to save, and they want to save more, because the more they save, the more they're going to have in the future. So that's how we work to get you there. I have people that come to me that don't even have, they say they don't have money. Like you said, I don't have money. So that's my job, to look at what you're doing right now, and we figure it out. guess what? When we do that analysis, we figure something out. I might see that, guess what? You spending an extra $50 a month on something you don't need to be spending on. So I help look at what you're doing in your situation, and we find money. You don't sometimes have to go make more money. We can look at what you're doing right now and figure out how to get money from what you're doing already to put into one of these policies, to have it start working for you, to start getting you some lifetime income, some helping your money grow at 250% or whatsoever, or 120%, and give you those living benefits, that tax-free income. I can get you those things, and you might not even realize how much it'll that you need to do it, to start. And then we can figure out the plan of what you need to do to get it to that amount you want to do, right? But what you got to do first is give me that time. Because what do I hear from a lot of us? Oh, girl, I ain't got time. Like you just said, they watching those what Cat Williams 4 hours.
Cat Williams was on for 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen.
You know how many people have told me I don't have an hour to listen to you. I'm giving you and showing you something that could possibly change the outcome, your future outcome. It's something that we just need to learn. We should know. You should know your options out there. You go out there and you looking for a new car. What you do? You go to everything. You online looking for that new car. You writing down the pros and cons. Okay, I want this one. What it got? How it? You know your options when you're looking for that car, that new phone. You know your options, right? You looking real hard. You going shopping for that dress that you want just perfect. You going get that furniture. You are doing and taking your time, due diligence, to do your research and your options for all these other things that I'm not saying not important. They're good things. It's something you want right now. You deserve them. You see your money, right? But I'm giving you something that could last you a freaking lifetime and pay you.
Delayed gratification, and it's the hardest thing sometimes. But I think as much as people are scared of what they don't know, all they got to do is shift a little bit. Yeah. Look at what you do know. Mm-hmm. Everybody that's here, that's our age, has been living through COVID.
Yeah,
we saw it with our eyes. We felt it in our accounts. Mm-hmm. We feel it in the market, in the gas tank, in the grocery store. But I want to wrap this up so that you can say what you need to say, so people get in touch with you, because, like you said, it's Living Benefits Awareness Month. You can give Steph a holler. And just, and if you, I know you do virtual and you can eventually meet in person, but you can, however it works, just get a little bit of information. It's a little bit of information. But it was key when she said certain things, that I knew certain things about life insurance. I knew certain things about policies. I just met with someone who told me some of the other things, but we were at a call. It was accidental. It didn't even turn into a meeting, because he really wasn't there to do business, even though he was secure with his company. Mm-hmm. And what he was doing. But he gave me some stuff, and I was like, man. And when I talked to Stephanie, I was like, well, I'm working with Stephanie and Gerald already. Let me hear about this. And the biggest thing, let's put it out to everybody. So perfect time. It's 2024, y'all. Y'all said y'all want to do something different. Especially all these sisters, all these nurses going on vacation, and your body's looking amazing. I'm just saying. The Mexico teeth and the body. Yes. I'm just saying. Do what you gotta do, but be ashamed if you be dead in some teeth.
Yeah, give yourself the opportunity to at least learn about it, know about it, see an actual comparison, because that's the thing. We can hear it, and like I said, it's sometimes, this is what I'm getting for people: fear, distrust. They're like, okay, but no, my company's telling me this. I got to stick with my company's telling me. It's a big company. They must know better. My guy. Oh, we got to have a conversation about my guy. I know we about to go now. I've only nipped the surface of things that can be done and things that have happened. This conversation does not cover everything. So please reach out to me. And just FYI, I'm licensed over 10 states, and that's growing. I can work with everywhere except New York, actually. They got they got their own thing going on. But every state, it doesn't matter where you are, where you're watching this. If you want to call me, I can help you. I'm virtual. Okay. And, just find out, do an actual comparison, really understand. Once you do that comparison, I do it for free, people. Once I do this comparison for you, then you decide, is it for you or not? But do you know how many people don't even do the comparison? They don't even really get all the information, and they just are like, nah. It's weird, but hey.
And Stephanie's one of those. Believe me, I know her. She's not a money hungry person. She's not doing this for money. Mm-mm. She makes money, but she's not doing it for money. It's a difference.
Exactly.
So it's not a thing, and you can hear how passionate she is about it. But this is, like I said, I've been Peter Tillinghast, big shout out to Peter. Back in the 90s, Northwestern Mutual in Baltimore, some of these vehicles, and Joe Facinda and Deborah Perez at New York Life. But it's like each time I go through certain stages, I learn more. And Stephanie dropped some knowledge the other day, that I didn't know. And I know some people need what you have. So are you on IG? What's the easiest way for people to get in touch with you, Steph?
Well, I am on Facebook and IG and things like that, but calling me and emailing me is going to be the best, right? Because you just reach straight out to me. So I'm at Stefani Whiteside.300fg@gmail.com. That's my email. Phone number, call me up, 323-812-5466. You can reach me, Stefani Whiteside, Instagram, Stephanie.Whiteside on Instagram, Stephanie W20 Facebook, and and my fitness, the wow factor, because we ain't even getting to that either. That fitness and that finance go together. I keep people fit physically and financially fit, because you gotta, if you're gonna live 30-40 years past retirement, you got to look good doing it and be in shape, right? And have that energy. So we gotta keep
you gotta look right when you're about to go spend a little money. Like you walking along the beach to get something to eat, and you huffing and puffing, like, what's wrong, man? I'm tired.
Yeah. This ain't yesterday's retirement, when you come into retirement and you just sitting on the porch on the rocking chair like, I'm retired.
Today's 50.
Look, grandkids over. No, baby, we're trying to go out. We're trying to be at the beach.
I got three best female friends. Guys, we got to step it up too. We got to stretch and make sure we're getting our Pilates and yoga in, because these 60-year-olds, y'all know I'm calm sure. But these 60-year-old women out here doing it.
Doing it.
They don't retire from one thing, got a bit doing it. In every way. Get yourself together.
And know this, people. I work with young people. I can work with people from 2 years old to 85. Just realize I have people too. Oh, it's too late for me. I'm already retired. No, you might be one of the ones that definitely need to come see me, baby boomer. Oh, please call me up. Our generation, please call me up.
Yeah.
I got some youngsters now. I love it. The ones that are in their 20s and 30s, when they come talk to me, ooh, they're going to be in such a great position. Call me. All ages. Please don't be like, I'm too young, I'm too old, I can't call her, I don't have nothing for her. Yeah, I do. Call me.
Stefani Whiteside.
And drop the mic. I'm just kidding.
The whole name. You brought the fire. She brought the fire in 50 minutes.
Yes.
Go hit her up. Information below. And just have a good sit down. And happy Living Benefits Awareness Month. I've never heard it, but I said it for the first. You probably heard it for the first time here. Thank you, Steph.
All right. You are welcome, and thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you so much.
All righty. Peace.